In southeast Wisconsin, we've seen a 33% increase of folks.
Lord says that the community needs to come together to help federal workers if their paychecks stop coming in.
You can donate your dollars, you can donate food, you can donate your time.
Feeding America has 2 locations in southeast Wisconsin, Milwaukee and Appleton. Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
It's been a big sports week in Milwaukee, and this weekend the competition moves from the Diamond to the Monitor.
Cream City Convergence is an esports tournament hosted by Milwaukee Bucks esports division Bucks Gaming. Tournament organizer Josh Barnacle explains what esports are.
The simple terminology for it is electronic sports, but it kind of encompasses a lot of different competitive video games in general.
He also explains the event will have
the typical casual area for people that just want to get games in and practice. We'll have the pool area where all of the actual in-bracket systems will be happening.
Doors open Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee. Charlie Snell, WTMJ News.
A New Berlin man has been arrested and charged this week in connection to a Grafton homicide that occurred in March. The Ozaukee County Sheriff's Office says the victim, Lang Sanavongse, was found dead in a rental car on County Highway C south of Tallgrass Drive in Grafton on March 4th, 2023. 34-year-old Miguel Aponte was arrested Tuesday, September 26th in Milwaukee. He appeared in court on Friday and is now facing several felony charges, including first-degree intentional homicide, attempting to disfigure a corpse, and bail jumping. The 49-year-old victim was from Texas and did not have any ties to Ozaukee County. An autopsy revealed he died from a gunshot wound. The sheriff's office previously said that the case appeared to be an isolated and targeted incident and believed the suspect knew or had a connection to the victim. The Milwaukee Brewers' Big Three starting pitchers are set to star the NL Wild Card Series this week. The team is hoping to ride Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, and Freddie Peralta deep into October. MLB.com's Adam McCalvey says if the crew can get past the first round, the schedule sets up nicely for the starters.
The Division Series has an extra off day baked in now into the schedule. You can use 3 pitchers if things line up right to get through an entire 5-game series. So the Brewers could have those 3 horses for all potentially 5 of those games.
Game 1 of the Wild Card Series starts Tuesday at American Family Field. If the playoffs started today, they would play the Miami Marlins. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:03.
This report sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
Hey Mom, hi Dad, this is Steve from Mr. Holland's Home Services. Now that the Munchkins and Rugrats are out of your hair and back in school, you can finally focus on the most important homework, as in the work that needs doing around your home, like changing that old dirty furnace filter, repairing or replacing that annoying drippy faucet, figuring out what's causing that slow drain in the bathroom, and adding a new light fixture to the living room. Need some help? The faculty at Mr. Holland's Home Services have studied the most effective ways to get your lights lighting, drains draining, and furnaces furnacing. We know most companies don't get 4.9 stars and 3,700 online reviews in plumbing, electric, and heating and air. But we do. So if your plumbing, electric, and heating and air isn't getting a passing grade, call the professional professors at Mr. Holland's Home Services. 866-992-1717. Or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. Is your home ready for the final exam? We can help.
You probably don't have to replace those windows. If the frames are intact and it's just the glass that's cracked, or it's foggy, replacing thermal window panes with the help of Less's Glass will save you the cost of total window replacement. When you want to know how much we can save you, all you have to do is measure the height and width of just the glass portion of the window panes. Then send us an email to info@lessglassservice.com and we'll get you an estimate right away. Just be sure to specify if you'd like us to come out and replace your window pane on site, or if you'd like to do it in the most cost-effective way possible by bringing the windows into our shop. Either way, you're saving a lot of money versus a total window replacement that you probably don't need. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
WTMJ Sports Update. The Brewers took their time last night defeating the Cubs in an extra inning, 4-3. The second game of the series is this evening at home starting at 7. Tune in to WTMJ for all your Brewers coverage. It looks like the Marlins will be coming to Milwaukee for the Wild Card Series, but it won't be concrete until the end of the weekend. No Packers football this weekend. Next game is Monday, October 9th in Las Vegas. Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Nothing major across the Milwaukee traffic system this morning, except for a disabled vehicle by Caledonia on 94 South on the exit to County G. So watch out if you are heading on 94 South this morning. Other than that, nothing major across the Milwaukee traffic system right now.
Traffic is sponsored by Smart Spaces. Adapt to the modern workplace. SmartSpacesWI.com.
How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Creating technology, great culture, spaces that people really want to come to, attract talent, and keep that talent.
SmartSpacesWI.com.
WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, a high of 77, mostly sunny. And on Sunday, a high of 79. It'll be sunny, and temperatures keep rising from there. On Monday, a high of 81. Tuesday, a high of 81 as well. Partly cloudy on that Tuesday. A high of 84 on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, thunderstorms and a sharp drop in temperatures going into the weekend from Thursday forward. If you're in Madison, you're feeling 61 degrees. Green Bay, 61 as well. Waukesha, 58. Right here in Milwaukee, it's a cool 61 degrees. I'm Jack Grau, citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:07.
This is The Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC. Need help around the house? Even the handiest do-it-yourselfer needs an extra hand sometimes. Let Home Inspector David Nason help you out during The Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
My name is Dayton Kane. David Nason, good morning.
Good morning, Dayton. Good morning, everybody.
How's it going?
It's going really well.
Crazy week? Busy week?
It was a very busy week. Glad to be here this morning.
Like work-wise busy or just life in general?
Lots of work. Looks like lots of houses are selling. People are getting inspections, contingencies, so that's a good thing for everybody involved.
All right. People buying new houses, which usually means they're going to move in and do some work on them, so I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, bigger houses, too.
They need to get their furnaces checked out.
Yeah,
we got
absolutely.
the guy right here who knows how to do that. Jason Fox, Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. You made it in, and you brought a guest.
I brought Merle. Multiple Merles.
Merle the squirrel is in the building. Oh, are we streaming, Isaac? Can people see Merle? Yeah? All right. If you go to WTMJ.com, you can see Merle today with us here. So, you busy too? Things going well?
Yeah, we can't complain. The Wisconsin weather always keeps us busy, so it's interesting. We're going back into the 80s this next week, and then we're going to go down into the 50s or 40s. So, yeah.
I saw a graphic on Facebook the other day. It said morning, spring, noon, summer, 4 o'clock, winter or fall, and then winter. Like we can have it all in a day. I mean, the temperature is crazy.
It is amazing how the weather can go up and down so much.
Right, and actually, a couple days this week is probably a little more difficult, I guess, for a system to kind of maintain what it's, because it was fairly humid, but it felt really chilly just because of the constant rain we had coming off the lake.
Yeah.
If you were in Milwaukee area, it wasn't cold. But
it wasn't hot enough to
cool.
really run your air conditioning, but you got that damp, musty feeling and everything like that. So it's you could warm your house up, turn your air conditioning back on, pull it out, or if you have a whole home dehumidifier like some people do, then you just run that and it'll take that out of there. But it's not been always the best, but it's been good sleeping weather. At least the windows open and real comfortable.
You wake up in the morning and you go outside. It looks like you watered your lawn all night.
Right.
It's just soaking wet. It's
exactly.
Like, what the heck? But it's nice and green still.
Definitely. Going into October with green lawns.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy. So what's new in the world of heating, cooling, and electric? What's the big thing everybody's kind of getting into right now? Like tech-wise, gadget-wise.
Well, first of all, change your filter, please.
Yes.
every
we do seem to say that every show.
Like everything, we've always had a lot of like tech, like, smart home, smart that stuff, which is still popular. But really, I think the biggest shift you're seeing is on the electrical side with electric vehicles still. I mean, it's, continuously becoming more and more popular. In fact, we're a service provider for Home Depot. So like if you go to Home Depot and you want to, they have furnaces and things they sell. Like if you want to do something, we're one of the people that come out to your house to do that on their behalf, right? And they just launched electric chargers now. Home Depot's going to be doing it. Yeah, so we have all of southeastern Wisconsin. We're doing that for them as well, which we do a ton of electric chargers already, but they're dipping their toe in that space now.
It's not Tesla brand, is it?
No, you can. I mean, you can do any brand right now is the way they have it. So you can, we have a couple that we like that are non-Teslas for non-Tesla cars that are really nice, but otherwise we can do anything through them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're. Home Depot is, getting into it now too. So I think it's just interesting to see two big things that are changing in just the country in general. That number one being AI. AI is into everything, right? But the electrification is moving much quicker than I thought it would, right?
Yeah.
And we should see the final quarter of this year what the rebates will be for that big government program for the heat pumps and electrical upgrades and things for homes. They should be having that hopefully figured out. Because some homes would be eligible up to like $6,000 or $7,000 in instant rebates. So like,
really,
you don't have to wait to get it back. Like we can give it to you up front. But they haven't finalized the programs. We're just waiting for the rules on that. But it's really going to be pushing towards those heat pumps and things like that. And the heat pump technology has gotten substantially better and things like that. And we're seeing a lot more people making that choice, which is different than in the past, right? People always bought them, but we're seeing a much bigger section of people driving towards that.
Okay.
Wow.
You did say something in there. So I've never even looked into the whole electric vehicle. Is it like an iPhone versus Android where I have a different plug for a different vehicle, or is there an actual uniform, like this is what we're charging our cars with?
So that's an interesting conversation. So this year, Tesla made a lot of headway there, and not all of them, a lot of the major manufacturers adopted their plug. Because they used to have kind of different ones. Like they had, some people were together in this and that, but a lot of them have now switched to their plug as the standard.
Okay.
But a lot of them come with adapters, so you can, if like I got a different electric car, a lot of times it's just an adapter change.
Gotcha.
But a lot of them, I believe, went to the Tesla plug because Tesla has such a large
network of chargers.
Yeah. So then it was
farther ahead of that than anybody else.
Makes sense.
And I don't have an electric car, but several people that work for me do. But the Tesla thing, like you literally pull up and it's all through your phone. You plug it in, it charges you out. You don't do anything. You just pay and you're on your way, right? It takes 20, 30 minutes depending on how much you're charging, but it'll be interesting because like when you read about this, so a gas station needs to turn a car every 7 minutes to make money. They don't make money in the gas; they make money in the convenience store. But they need to get
Quick Trip's got that down,
right? Yeah. But it's 7 minutes is the average time someone spends at a gas station. But the average car charging time right now is about 20 to 25 minutes, right? So that means there would be a third of the capacity coming through there if they did only electric vehicles, which means their revenue would drop substantially. So how are they going to make that up, and how are they going to change?
So they need to have a separate room, like a little living room or something with like gambling machines in there, so people who are charging their cars can go sit down on the
so they need
couch.
to open up little casinos.
Something like that. Something for them to do that they can charge them for.
Well, then what you're seeing, right? I don't know if this is gonna be the trend. What you're seeing is like a lot of like places that you spend more time are having them. Like Meijer grocery store has a ton of electric chargers, right? Because grocery shopping takes you 20, 30 minutes,
sure,
right? Some people longer, some people shorter.
Makes sense,
right? So now you're gonna are you gonna do it differently? And then also when you pay to charge, it's much more expensive than doing it at your house, right? So typically you charge your car at house is maybe $3-4, right? But at a charging station, you may pay anywhere from $10 to $20 to do that. So what are you going to choose, right? It'll be very interesting how our like lives just change with all these things that are coming. So
with a car battery like that, does it make a difference if it's run all the way down, or like if you're at the grocery store, I'm at like half a charge, I might as well just charge because I'm here? Do you want to run it all the way down?
I don't know the exact specifics, but from what I understand from people that have cars, typically they don't actually ever charge full. You typically charge like 80 or 90% unless you're going on a trip. And then, yes, they will charge when they get down to whatever their range is, right? So maybe it's like, okay, I got 50 miles left on my charge or whatever. But it's interesting that they don't ever want to go full, because I guess if you go full, it kind of degrades the battery and things like that.
That's what I was wondering about, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we have all kinds of things we can talk about. HVAC, we've got the electric stuff. Jason Fox is here all hour today, so get your calls in. The Old National Bank talk and text line is 855-616-1620. It is the Fix It Show. This is WTMJ.
This is Libby Collins. Join me this Sunday morning at 11 o'clock for our WTMJ conversation with Dr. Eve Hall from the Greater Milwaukee Urban League.
When you're in these roles, you're taking a chance with people maybe wanting to harm you. Once I learned the history of the Urban League, I see it as an honor and a privilege because of what the organization has done and how we are still so relevant.
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ.
Hey, Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. My house is more than 20 years old, and eventually I'm going to need a new roof, but maybe I can wait a bit on that. Maybe I can get a tune-up. That's what Tri-County Contracting does. It's a worry-free roof tune-up. It's your chance to have someone up on your roof to take a look and perhaps even make some fixes if necessary. Look them up, TriCountyContractingWI.com, or call 262-217-8150. Tri-County Contracting.
Well, it's the longest running music gig in Milwaukee's history. It's been over 43 years now, and I guess you could say we love Jeff Stoll. He's here weekly playing a mean piano and singing all the kind of hits that you'd hope to hear at a genuine Wisconsin supper club. And at the Packing House, that's what we're committed to, being a genuine supper club, with hopes that people from all over southeastern Wisconsin and beyond make a point of visiting at least once. You'll hear great live music here every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday night. And for some people, a seat at the bar in our vintage lounge listening while having a couple of classic cocktails is just enough for a nice evening out. And for others, it's that, plus one of our award-winning steak entrees. But there's much more than steak on our expansive menu. With live music, a vintage lounge, classic cocktails, and a genuine supper club menu that runs the gamut, how can you go wrong? This is Chris Wyken, inviting you to enjoy deliciousness from scratch at the Packing House.
Deliciousness from scratch. That's the Packing House.
Across from the airport on Layton.
So there are some things all real estate agents do, and there are certain things some agents do. Most of us are full service. Some charge 6% commission for full service. We charge 3.9%. But one person's full service isn't exactly equal to the others. And it's important that you know there is a difference. You're going to want an agent who is reliable, responsive, that feels like they're working for you to live up to all the expectations you have when hiring a full-service agent. You'll find that at Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty. When it comes to getting the peak price for your home sale, it's all a matter of eyeballs. The more people we get your home listing in front of, the more opportunities arise. At Benefit Realty, we are ultra confident in promising you maximum exposure to your listing. We want to sell it fast and for as much as we can for you. That way, all sides win. And I have to believe that's why we've achieved the strong growth that we have. Maximum exposure means maximum home sale value. Benefit-realty.com.
During Fire Prevention Week, the National Fire Sprinkler Association would like to remind you that fire won't wait. Plan your escape. House fires can become deadly in as little as 2 minutes. A fire sprinkler system is the only thing that can stop a fire and smoke from spreading. In less time than it takes firefighters to arrive, fire sprinklers control the fire and allow everyone to escape. Fire won't wait. Plan your escape. Fire sprinklers buy time, and time buys life during Fire Prevention Week. For information, visit firesprinklersbuylife.com.
The Fix-It Show with Dayton Kane and David Nason on WTMJ.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be a beautiful day, mostly sunny and 80. Brewers playing the Cubs again tonight. Bucks is just like a week away. The 8th is preseason for the Bucks, so everybody's getting excited about that. We got football, all the sports. If you're a sports guy, now's the time to be happy. So
definitely.
Jason Fox from Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric here with us today, and we were talking a little bit about the electric chargers and how they're kind of taking over a lot quicker than you thought, so that's interesting. And you just said that there's a car that one of your employees that actually just can pull up to the front door when he's done at work and he walks out.
Teslas have that ability.
Yeah, it's
I
a
didn't
Tesla.
know that. I'm so far behind on this car technology.
It's called summon, and you summon the car to you, and it'll back out of its parking spot and come up to you and drive right up to you.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
that's insane. All right, let's move on.
Can you imagine if somebody's got that, and then you're going for a walk, you're walking past the house, all of a sudden the car just starts moving.
Nobody's in it.
That's what we're going to have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're talking about, the robotic taxi fleets and all those things where your car needs maintenance and it's going to go and get it at night while you're sleeping and come back, right?
Right. But you know, we say, oh, this is crazy. But back when we were in grade school, weren't we thinking that by now we'd be in flying cars?
Yeah, that is true. We thought we'd be.
So like, what's taking so long? You know, like, why are we flying around in our cars?
We're behind the times.
Exactly.
All right, so there's this shady club that David and I belong to that they let us in.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got in, but I think everybody can get in.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the Capital Cares Club.
Well, it's the world's greatest club, right?
Yes,
so
it is.
The
Good
Capital
club.
Cares Club is a club that lets us take and worry about your HVAC needs and electrical needs versus you having to do about it, right? So
That's how I got in. I had a furnace installed by Capital and an air conditioner installed by Capital.
Yeah.
That's initially got in.
I tried to get into the Illuminati and I couldn't, so I went to Jason and got into Capital Cares.
So, but what we do is we come out twice a year. We service your equipment. We bring it back to factory fresh condition. We do our beyondifications, which is way beyond your standard tune-up. We're going to go through many, many more components and things and make sure everything's really running good. We give you all kinds of great discounts. So we give you 10% off of our duct cleaning. We give you $400 worth of capital cash used towards any of our indoor air quality needs or towards a new piece of equipment. Priority scheduling, you only pay $49 anytime we need to come out, except for maintenance visits. We pay nothing additional. Right, so you get 2 of our beyondifications, which are $199 a piece, and then all the other benefits cost you $48 to join, $24 a month, and you'll never worry about it again. And you have priority service 24/7. So call us in the middle of the night, call us on Christmas, call us on Monday. We'll get you taken care of that day.
It's awesome, and typically when we ask we're going to give one of these away.
Yep.
We typically ask when you guys will come out and service. 24/7, 7 days a week. I'm not going to ask that question today because we have a special guest in the studio. So we're going to ask what the name of the squirrel is in the Capital campaign that you guys do. So this squirrel, if you're looking online, what's his name? We'll see if anybody knows that. That might be a more difficult one than the 24/7, 7 days a week.
The funny thing is this squirrel started when my wife was doing our marketing, and she created him as one of our direct mail pieces, and it's consistently grown, and now it's in our radio ads, and it's in our TV commercials and all that stuff. So it's kind of funny.
I'm amazed at how Seth and must be your wife or
Lori. Yep.
Yeah, Lori. For one time they couldn't understand what Merle said, but all of a sudden they must have gone to a class or something, and they can understand what he says now.
Well,
and now you just told the name, so if you didn't know it, you now know. 855-616-1620.
I think Isaac was on the phone already.
855-616-1620 is the Old National Bank talking text line. The first person that calls into that number, we're getting all kinds of texts now about it. You have to call that number, 855-616-1620. We'll get you in on the Capital Cares Club. Really is worth the investment. It pays for itself, basically. Yeah. And for dummies like me who don't think about my own property enough, even though I do this show and I hear stuff every week, you guys remind me, hey, we got to come in and do your furnace tune-up. We have to come in and check your air conditioner. It's that time of year. I'm like, oh, yeah, let's go.
Well, the great thing about it is the majority of problems can be prevented, right? Because we can catch them early enough, and they also don't create bigger problems, right? Because sometimes can create a bigger problem, which is now like, okay, now maybe it can't be repaired, right? Yeah. So it's important to get it done, and it's important to change your air filters. It's important to do all those things, and we take care of that for you, and don't worry about it because everyone's busy, right? And the last thing you want to think of. So we'll call you, we'll text you, we will email you, we will send you a postcard, we'll send you smoke signals, whatever it is, and schedule your convenience. And the nice thing is that we do this 7 days a week, right? So not everyone has to take off work. You're like, I want it on a Saturday, or I want it on a Sunday. Great. We have people that work those days. That's their regular work day. They're happy to come and do it then.
That's awesome. We'll get our winner when we come back. It is the Fix It Show. Jason Fox from Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric on with us this hour on WTMJ.
It's a city from a fairy tale on the Mediterranean Sea.
Netanya, the city of diamonds.
And in this city of diamonds lived a crazy genius named Moses Hadara.
Moses was a mathematician,
a diamond cutter,
and a bit of a theoretical physicist.
Albert Einstein devised a formula, E = mc squared.
Albert's formula unleashed the power locked inside an atom.
Moses' formula unleashed the power locked inside a diamond.
Moses began with star facets,
kite facets,
upper girdle facets,
lower girdle facets,
and pavilion facets.
But then a voice told him to add 24 new facets, the Moses facets.
When he cut the final one,
Shazam!
Moses unleashed an explosion of light.
That dazzling diamond is known today as the Kessler 81.
See it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
See it for yourself.
At Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Debbie Lazaga here. I've been wanting to shade in my backyard for years, and now that dream is coming true thanks to my friends at Comfort Awnings located in Burlington. It's a local family-owned company that provides expert installation, servicing southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. They came out to my house and walked me through the process, from different colors and fabrics, custom fit to my home's exterior and backyard. Right now, you can receive $250 off awnings and screens until the end of September. Call 414-AWNINGS for a free estimate or visit ComfortAwnings.com.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as a community bank, we sincerely appreciate our customer loyalty. Over nearly 90 years, we've done all we can to return the favor. Great Midwest Bank offers flexible solutions that bigger banks and credit unions simply can't, because our entire team is right here in the community. We love helping our neighbors when we're at work and then catching up over the weekend. Visit us at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Champagne's not as cheap as ginger ale, and you can't buy caviar for the same price as candy. But right now, you can buy high-end Beautyrest and Sealy Posturepedic mattresses for nowhere near high-end prices. Hasseless Mattress is clearing out a handful of premium floor models, like the Sealy Posturepedic Glendale Falls Queen. Was on sale for $955, now just $362. Only a few remain, and they will sell out. Find a self-service, employee-free showroom near you at Hasseless.com.
With Rhino Shield ceramic coating, never paint your house again. Rhino Shield will keep 100% of the rain and 90% of the heat from penetrating your house. And it looks just like paint, but will last 5 times longer, and it's guaranteed for 25 years. Rhino Shield comes in any color. Get started today at rhinoshieldwis.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
WTMJ's The Fix-It Show with David Nason and Dayton Kane.
And Jason Fox from Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Good morning. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations to Renee from West Bend. She is now part of the Capital Cares Club team. Club.
Welcome to the family.
Just club. We can stop there.
Yeah. We'll have Tyler reach out to you today, and he'll get you all set up.
Awesome. Tyler's a good guy, always working on Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday. That's his Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays, his days. So he's always got the weekends.
All right. So let's talk a little bit. Somebody called in during that as well to try to win. They didn't, but they had questions. They asked.
So when you walk in the door at Kingsley Lumber, you're going to find a friendly, knowledgeable staff. We are.
Isaac bumped something.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, he asked if it's too soon to turn on the heater, the furnace.
Well, you never know when it's too soon, but I always tell people to be comfortable, right? Because your furnace can run. I mean, you could turn it on in the summer if you wanted to, right? But it's interesting in Wisconsin. I don't know if this is everywhere because I've only done business here in Wisconsin, but some people hold off. Like some people are like, I can't turn my heat on until Thanksgiving or until blah, blah, blah. And other people like me, I'm like, as soon as I'm not comfortable, I turn my heat on.
Wait, yeah, why not? I mean, the question was, is it too soon to turn your heat on? You can turn it on whenever whenever you want. I test furnaces every day of the week or every day of the year on inspections. I can't test an air conditioner in the winter, but yeah, you can.
Heat can turn it. Can go on at any time.
And actually, what we do, because we've been, at the end of the season, sometimes we're doing someone's furnace and air conditioner. Some people want them combined into one visit versus two. So, but we get into the house, and let's say the house is like 68 degrees because it's not hot enough. We'll actually run the heat to get the temperature in the house up, so we can run the air conditioning to cool it back down, so we can check both efficiently.
So here's the other thing: if you're not part of the club yet, which you should be, and you wait until Thanksgiving to run your your furnace, and then that day when it's all of a sudden it's cold and now your furnace isn't working, well, now you're under the gun. So if you do try it early now,
and
if there is an issue, now you got a little time where it's not going to be cold, I can still get something.
And that was the second half of his question was, how far out are you guys as far as working on furnaces?
Well, I mean, so like repairs, we have room for repairs every day, whether it's furnace, AC, whatever, right? So those we can do every day. But as far as maintenance, I think we're scheduling out about 2.5 weeks right now on maintenance. We have additional spots if people need special, things, but we basically look at our capacity every day, and then every day we change it, right? Because it's based upon, we have to have some availability. So like next week's will be a little warmer, so we'll have some additional availability for demand. But then if the demand is not coming in, we'll book more maintenance in. So it ebbs and flows, and we have lists of people that like, hey, I want to be moved up, or I want this. So we can get you in. Go to our website. You can schedule anytime. You can give us a call. You can chat with us. However you want to schedule, we make it as easy as possible to do business with us.
CapitalHVAC.com is the website. You can go there as well. It's all A's in there, capital. Well, there's an I. HVAC.com. Let's take a break. It is a Fix-It show on WTMJ. Get your calls in at 855-616-1620. The WTMJ Breaking News Center. He's over there waiting patiently. Jack Rao, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thanks so much for having me. The first story this morning kind of goes with the Fix-It show theme. City of Milwaukee residents may start raking their leaves into their curb lanes tomorrow until November 15th. The Department of Public Works will begin collecting the leaves on October 16th. DPW advises to keep the piles away from sewer grates, storm drains, and low-hanging trees. And they say you can include yard debris such as flowers, garden trimmings, and weeds on top of the leaf piles, but do not include grass clippings, pumpkins, litter, or other bagged material. Milwaukee police are investigating a fatal shooting that occurred last night near the intersection of Locust Street and Humboldt Boulevard. The shooting occurred at 10:40 p.m. The 40-year-old victim was pronounced deceased at the scene. The investigation is ongoing. A spokesperson for the Evers administration told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that the governor's office is developing a strategy to navigate the impending government shutdown. While federal employees would likely be furloughed, programs like SNAP benefits or Medicaid would unlikely be affected. Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Again, nothing major across the Milwaukee traffic system this morning. Still that disabled vehicle near Caledonia on 94 South, so watch out for that. Maybe add a couple minutes onto your commute if you're driving south, going to be going near Caledonia. Other than that, nothing major.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, a high of 77, mostly sunny, and Sunday, a high of 79. And the temperatures keep picking up from there. Monday, a high of 81. Tuesday, a high of 81, partly cloudy that day. An expected high of 84 on Wednesday. Thursday, a drop-off with some thunderstorms and cooler weather after that. I'm Jack Grau, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 7:33.
Seth, the next ad should be about furnace beyondifications.
No, it's got to be same-day repair 7 days a week.
A beyondification extends the life of your furnace.
Yes, of course.
And increases efficiency.
Which saves you money on energy bills. I get it.
I don't think you do.
But same-day repair helps people now whose systems are breaking down.
Beyondification saves people from having a breakdown in the first place. What you got to me? Oh, sorry, Merle.
You're right.
We shouldn't be arguing. I was saying people should get a furnace beyondification. Right, saves you money.
I thought same-day repair 7 days a week was better. Saves you time and frustration.
You're exactly right, Merle. You're a genius.
You're a great squirrel.
Get same-day repair or a furnace beyondification today.
Save money.
Save time and frustration.
Online at callcapitalcares.com.
Eric Brown and his crew from Siding Unlimited can fix whatever's wrong with the outside of your house. How do you know what's wrong with it? Well, look for these trouble signs. On your windows, paint peeling, wood rot or damage from condensation? How well do they operate? Got mold on the storm windows? Siding have any dents, holes, or chips, paint, or color issues? Is the caulking cracked? How's the flashing? Roof look okay? How about your doors? Decks are another place for critical inspection. Maybe you'd just like to have a new one. Eric is a regular here on the Fix-It Show. You regular listeners are aware of his expertise. He's president of Siding Unlimited, but that's not a desk job. He's out there working with the crews, inspecting people's structure problems and fixing them. Siding Unlimited will fix yours too. Make a note to contact Siding Unlimited online at sidingunlimited.com or see Siding Unlimited's unique outside-in showroom near Gerke's Corners in Brookfield.
More of your questions next. It's the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Good morning to you. There is one thing we need to fix on the Fix-It Show. That little blooper before was David's fault, not Isaac's.
Right.
I kind of threw Isaac under the bus. But
do we have a blooper reel?
You threw him under the bus,
That's
not
what I'm
me.
saying. I said I did, yeah. So anyway, we have Jason Fox from Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric in with us. 855-616-1620, the Old National Bank talk and text line. We do have a text here that says, what are the advantages of having an outside air exchanger added to your furnace?
Well, if you like to breathe good, clean air, it's a huge advantage. So most houses have a lot of problems in their air, right? So one of the biggest ones is us just breathing, the carbon dioxide that comes out of us, right? Builds up in homes because we don't open our windows enough. We don't run our fans when we're cooking enough, our bath fans when we're showering, all those things, right? We're not getting exchange of air, right? So it's good to have fresh air. So there's a couple of different ways to do it. The most easiest way is to add just a fresh air duct to the furnace. When the furnace runs, it brings some fresh air in. But if you want really good air quality and good ventilation, the air exchanger has air where it's taking stale air from your house and putting it outside and taking fresh air from outside and bringing it in. And what it does, it'll exchange the temperature between those two, so it makes it basically less conditioning needed, so you don't have to raise the air temperature or lower the air temperature as much. And you can schedule
you're using the air to heat the air, basically. Or
exactly.
It tempers it, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't mix. It just just kind of
they're side by side and they're exchanging that.
Right.
100%. Yep. And you can actually, some of them you can exchange humidity too. We don't typically use those up here because it creates some other problems, but depends on the house. But something like that you can have run 24/7. You can have it run certain times a day. You can do a lot of different things, but it really improves the air quality. Yeah. So I have one in my house. We don't use it in the summer because my window's open all summer, but it runs all winter, right? So we're always doing it.
That's called an ERV.
So ERV exchanges humidity, and HRV is.
I think you have that wrong.
I get them vice versa. Yes, ERV and HRV. Yeah. So one exchanges humidity, one doesn't. Basically.
Right. So it's basically that fresh air changer.
Yeah.
So if you don't know if you have one, some people don't. It's usually a box about the size of a good sized cooler.
Yep.
Down near your furnace, and it's got 4 ducts, connected to it.
4 ducts connected. Yep. 2 of them go outside. 2 are connected to your system or to floor registers, or depending on.
And they should be serviced or maintained every time you have your furnace maintained. Check the filters and things.
Yep. There's
more filters.
There's a filter in there as well. Yes. It's a much more coarse filter though, so it's not real fine because it's more just stopping debris. Is what it's trying to do.
Bugs and debris.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then there's on the outside of your house, you'll have a vent there. You want to make sure that's free and clear too, because I can get clogged up with lint and leaves and other stuff.
Okay. All right. So I saw a news story this week about the Department of Energy wanting to implement new restrictions or standards for furnaces.
So this actually was implemented, I can't remember how many years ago, but this actually was on the docket of happening, where you would no longer be able to buy what they call a mid-efficient furnace, which is a furnace that vents into a chimney. Right?
Yeah, metal pipe,
exactly.
B-vent or into a chimney. Yeah.
Yep. You wouldn't be able to buy those. Everything would have to go to high efficient, which would be you need PVC venting, but the biggest thing is you need a drain, right?
Yeah,
so
it creates condensation.
Condensation. Yeah. So most homes, probably not a big deal, but if you have a furnace in the attic or maybe sometimes in crawl spaces, other places, you don't necessarily have a drain to drain that, and that condensate is actually acidic, so you can't just go to like a sump pump or something like that. It's got to be treated. So they postponed it all, and now they're kind of bringing it back, but. We have lots of changes coming. In 2025, we're changing the refrigerant. So the current refrigerant we have, which we haven't had more than 15 years, is going to change again to be less, global warming potential, right? And then we're going to do the furnaces, and then in 2030 they're going to do the air conditioners again for efficiency standards. So.
But once you have a system, it's grandfathered in.
Well,
you don't have to change it.
They don't make you change it
now.
Yeah, but when you buy
the new one, then you're upgrading to that next level.
There's no mandate to this, but what happens is on the refrigerant side of things, the refrigerant they start producing less and less of that refrigerant. So if you do need a repair, now your repairs go substantially higher. Right?
So so right now the R22 is probably pretty expensive. The old
R22 is
stuff.
very expensive. 410A is kind of the one that's been currently sold, still sold, but the next year they're reducing production. They're already reducing production drastically because we're going to switch to the new refrigerant, which the interesting thing is there's not a united front on that. So right now there's 3 different refrigerants that the manufacturers are going to use. So it might actually be, you could have one, your neighbor would have something different, where right now it's been pretty much consistent. Like, if you had a system in this amount of time, it's going to be 410A. Or if it's older than that, it'll be R22. Well, now it could be up to 3 different ones.
Interesting.
Or 2 different ones. There's kind of depending on who you talk to or who you listen to, but there's not a clear mandate of what we're going to use.
Mm-hmm.
So
makes your job harder. You got to carry more stuff around.
That the just like everything else, everything that you put in people's homes now is much more technically advanced than ever was, and that's only getting more and more like that. But the good news is people are saving tremendous amounts of money in their utilities, right? So the new systems, is that they are more expensive, but the energy savings and the comfort levels and things is substantially greater than it ever was, right? So there's a trade-off, right? But the money back in your pocket is better.
All right. Jason Fox from Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric. The Old National Bank talk and text line is 855-616-1620. How long have you guys been doing this?
When did we start?
Yep.
2007.
2007, so a long time. And I'm amazed that, like you said, the technology from then to now is probably 1,000 times what it used to be. You guys come into the home and the technician has an iPad that he's hooking things up to. You can see it at the office. Like it's science. It's not just like, hey, I got to change a filter. There's a lot going on.
And some people, they're still getting used to it, but like we never send anyone into your home by themselves, right? It's maybe one person there, but like there's a team of people always at the office, even on the weekends, that we're working with them and monitoring, making sure that they didn't skip a step or forget something, right? Or if they have a question or need help with something, there's people in the office that are looking at everything step by step, right? We're trying to always make that customer experience amazing, but then we use software to validate everything we're doing. So we're hooking up things and we're looking at everything electronically and we're attaching those reports, and we keep all that history for every time we've been to your house, right? So we know exactly what the system looked like last time, what it looks like this time, what's changed. Is there something we're missing, and can we connect the dots, right? So we invest a lot of money in training and in that technology, but it really provides the best customer service, right? Because we're coming out and do your maintenance and getting your system back to where it needs to be. We don't want to have to call us for a breakdown, right? We want to do our job right the first time so that you're good for the season. You don't have to worry about it.
All right, Jason Fox with us, 855-616-1620. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more of your calls and texts. It's the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
John Mercure here. Fall is in the air, and now and then it's Wisconsin. It's fall in Wisconsin. For me, that means coffee, and Cream City Coffee Company is the place to try it out if you haven't already. It's at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, and so is Sarah Neubauer. She is with us. Hello, Sarah. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am so good. So tell us about Cream City Coffee at Potawatomi.
Yeah, so Cream City Coffee Company is located right off the skywalk on our second level of our casino. Our current fall specials bring you the classic seasonal coffees and pastries you've been waiting all year for, but with a twist you can't find in many other coffee shops. So not only do we have the pumpkin spice lattes and the spiced apple cider, we also have spiked apple ciders with brandy, as well as a boozy pumpkin whipped cream that you can add to any drink of choice.
That sounds absolutely great. And they're pastries. I love pastries.
Yeah, and our pastries are phenomenal. There's an apple or cherry cheese Danish if you're looking for something sweet, or the maple bacon squash Danish if you're looking for something savory.
Ooh, that is so fun. Hey, that's amazing stuff. Another unique feature for one of Potawatomi's many restaurants is at Rock and Brews. I love this. ESPN Milwaukee will broadcast the Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Mondays live from Rock and Brews the day after every Packers game. Is that right?
Yes, we're excited for this collab. So join us at Rock and Brews, one of our newest restaurants here at Potawatomi, where Gary and Greg will be here and recapping the latest Packer game and previewing Monday Night Football. So come on out next Monday. You'll see and hear them live and in person breaking down the game from the Lions game.
I've heard it, actually. It's a great show. It's fun, and it's at a great restaurant. And also there's a promotion on Wednesdays called Senior Wednesdays.
Yeah, we do. It's our seniors' time to shine. It's Senior Wednesdays. Anyone 55 years or older can use their Fires Keepers Club card and score up to $555 in reward play.
Check it out at paysbig.com. Sarah Neubauer, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Are you interested in the security of investing in treasuries but don't know how?
Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Armstrong with Steinbrenner Financial and your Dave Ramsey SmartVestor Pro. Tune in to the Dave Ramsey program weeknights at 9 o'clock or visit steinbrennergroup.com to learn more.
Have you heard about The Gathering?
Why are you being so mysterious?
The Gathering is a mystery. It's an enigma wrapped in a puzzle and placed behind your sofa.
What are you talking about?
He's talking about the Gathering console table from Penny Mustard.
What's so mysterious about a table?
What's mysterious about a table that spans the length of your sofa with long legs and a top that's deceivingly wide?
Yeah.
Well, I'm perplexed.
The Gathering console table fits perfectly behind your sofa, providing a snack bar for parties, a buffet for pizza night, a homework station for the kids, and extra seating for the holidays.
How can it be all those things?
I told you, it's mysterious.
Thanks, Sherlock.
Come unlock the mystery of the Gathering console table, sophisticrafted in the USA with your choice of lumbers and stains, and starting at just $16.10 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Mysterious versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Need advice? Call 855-616-1620. Our expert home inspector is here to help. It's the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
You can find the Fix-It Show podcast on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Dayton Kane, David Nason, and Jason Fox from Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric. And you were talking about your technicians and how they're all trained up. One thing about technology you guys do well is even communication with your customer. I love the fact that when you guys are coming to my house, I get a text that tells me who's coming, what time they're going to be there, and a picture of that person. So when they come up, I know this is legit. This is Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric coming up.
Well, we don't want to be a stranger, right? So let's try to give as much information because some people, are home alone or older or whatever. We want them to know what's going on and things like that. So we try to, like I said, everything we do, try to make it as easy as possible, right? That's why we have the scheduling online. We even have, if you want to know how much a new furnace is going to be or new air conditioner, you go on our website, you can price one out right there, right? So we try to make it easy. If you want to join the club, you can buy your club membership right online. If you want to just get a beyondification, you can purchase online and we'll call you and get it scheduled, right? So we try to make it 24/7 because, do it when you want to do it, not when we're available, right? So we're available always, right?
And who just won the membership? What was her name?
Renee from West Bend.
So Renee texted in. She said, thanks for the Capital membership. Hope to meet Merle the Squirrel. LOL. Does Jason have any tips about choosing a quality air filter? So we tell people to change it all the times. We could get into the whole MERV rating and everything.
It's such a loaded question because it really depends on your furnace and, and other things like that, right? So the filter, the MERV rating is how restrictive and how much filtration it can do. The problem is you pick too restrictive a filter, you're going to have other issues, right? So the biggest thing is what is the problem you're trying to solve, right? And why you want a good filter. So I usually recommend like 8. MERV 8 is usually pretty good. And keeping the majority of the stuff out. If you're having other issues like dust and problems or things, maybe it's getting your ducts cleaned, or if you have a lot of allergies, there's other things that'll do a better job than a filter to help get that out of the air. And we have all those products, so when we come out to your house, we'll look at all those, and our technician can definitely make recommendations. And if you want a Merle, we bought 7,000 Merles, so we have them to give out to people. So if you want a Merle, just ask for one. We'll get it for you.
They're all in my neighborhood running around right now.
Yeah, not a huge fan of the squirrel unless it's Merle.
I'm going to set this out on my deck and see
if it scares them away.
Yeah,
or it just starts beating it up.
Maybe
got a little squirrel fight.
He'll grab it and run away with it.
All right, we have one segment coming up. Get your calls and texts in for Jason, 855-616-1620, the Old National Bank talk and text line. It's a Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
I feel like I'm a smart person most of the time.
See the world from his perspective.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss. And in this case, I don't know if I'd say it was bliss, but I was definitely ignorant.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
I kind of went with the attitude of don't even have your phone with you. They can't call you, and they can't cut you.
Mark Tauscher on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by your Wisconsin Chevy dealers. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Hi, I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling and current president of the Milwaukee chapter of NARI, the National Association of Remodeling Industry. Those who know me know I'm committed to building a better remodeling experience for homeowners and a better industry for those who work in the trades. If you're a home improvement contractor looking to build your skills and your business, I invite you to reach out to me and learn more about NARI. Email me at randy@allriteremodeling.com.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Pain relief and gimmicks. The two seem to go hand in hand. And it really is a shame, because when you're living with chronic pain, you're vulnerable. And that's why so many people get tricked into buying unproven treatments. At Rejuvenex, we understand how you suffer, how you wait to get out of bed because you know the pain is coming. Chronic pain from osteoarthritis is a terrible thing. And that's why we use our proprietary, powerful, FDA-approved treatments to precisely target your affected areas, to provide cushion and lubrication that helps deliver long-lasting pain relief in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. We're in-network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief, really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
During Fire Prevention Week, the National Fire Sprinkler Association would like to remind you that fire won't wait. Plan your escape. House fires can become deadly in as little as 2 minutes. A fire sprinkler system is the only thing that can stop a fire and smoke from spreading. In less time than it takes firefighters to arrive, fire sprinklers control the fire and allow everyone to escape. Fire won't wait. Plan your escape. Fire sprinklers buy time, and time buys life during Fire Prevention Week. For information, visit firesprinklersbuylife.com.
As daylight hours decrease, crashes involving people driving and people biking or walking increase. Turn your lights on, slow down, and look around to help reduce nighttime crashes. Let's make sure everyone, no matter how they travel, gets home safe. Learn more at wisconsinbikefed.org.
Russ bought his first home in Wisconsin with a mortgage from AccuNet when today's college freshmen were still in diapers. A few Friday mornings ago, Russ emailed saying he and his wife were ready to buy their forever home. And by 4 o'clock, we were all on a conference call with their real estate agent talking about what it would take to write a winning offer in today's inventory-starved market. And then it happened. They met their dream home face-to-face Saturday afternoon and wrote an offer $15,000 over asking, accompanied by an AccuNet property-specific pre-approval letter that guaranteed they could make good on that offer without selling their existing home first and without requiring an appraisal. That's right, no appraisal required, which both the listing agent and seller loved. I can't promise your very first offer will be accepted like Russ and Julie's, but I will promise AccuNet can help you and your agent craft the most attractive offer possible. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Get started with your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at accunet.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. David Nason and Dayton Kane. It's the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
The Fix-It Show, sponsored by Siding Unlimited and J&V Construction. Dayton and David here. Marty from National Fire Sprinkler Association on with us next hour. This is our final segment with Jason Fox from Capital Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Somebody did text in, does the club cover boilers?
We do have a plan for boilers, yeah. It's a little bit different pricing model because there's depending on what kind of boiler you have, but yes, we have one for them as well.
But only natural gas-fired blowers.
Correct,
boilers.
yep.
Yeah.
We don't work on oil.
Yeah.
I have one other thing to say about your people, and I don't know how you do this.
I hope it's good.
It's good because when you think, at least my age, I'm 52, when I think HVAC, I think plumber crack, big guy, burly guy coming in like, hey, got to fix your furnace. That's not your guys. Your guys are super professional. It's all technology now. They're in my house for 2 hours, and you don't know it unless they want to show you the results. Like, how do you find those people and get them out to people's houses?
Well, I mean, we're always recruiting, right? So if anyone listening is looking, or they got, son or daughter that wants to get into the trades, we take people from scratch, right? You don't need experience, right? So we are always hiring quality people. We just, looking for people that are good communicators, right? Because a lot of our job is communicating to the customer, a very technical thing. But if you talk to them all technical, they're like, okay, what does that mean? Right?
Yeah, some layman terms here.
So we need to be able to put it in common sense, right? But it's culture, it's recruiting, it's always training, right? I mean, it's a constant thing, right? And then just high expectations because we try to deliver a high customer experience, right? That's who we are. We're definitely not the cheapest company in town, right? But we try to do the more than anybody and deliver that, and we stand behind our word, right? I mean, we have the best guarantees out there, right? We have a 2-year money-back guarantee on a new equipment if you buy it, right? You have 2 years to decide, did we do our job and do we do it right? If we didn't, we'll come take it out and give you all your money back, right?
And something you said, Jason, son or daughter, when you say guys, you have women on your staff. We do.
We've had women electricians. We've had women service techs and things like that, right? So women can do the trades just as easy as men can, right? We don't hire based on anything but people that are going to be successful with us, and we want to make them successful. And we've taken people from they started out in duct cleaning, then they went to installation, and then they went to service, and then they went to management. I mean, like there's a million different paths of career that we have. And we're just always looking for the good quality people, right? That's how we do it.
Well, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
You're finding them. So I have not had one unpleasant experience when your people come to my house. So, and that's twice a year at least.
Well, that's good to hear. Sometimes we don't fulfill, but we have a great way to, even on our best days, sometimes we're not perfect, but we take, a tremendous pride in it, and we make it right for everyone all the time. So,
all right. Tell people how to get in touch with you again.
So you can find us online at capitalhvac.com, or you can give us a call at 414-662-0956. Tyler's working right now. You can talk to him. So if you have any questions we didn't answer, or you want more information about any of the things we have, feel free to give us a call.
And when are you guys open?
Always.
Always. Even holidays?
Even holidays.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you need heat on holiday. And especially on a holiday,
when Christmas or New Year's
you're opening
Eve
the presents Christmas morning. You don't want frost on your presents.
I don't know if you guys remember this last Christmas. I don't know if it was I think it was Christmas Eve. How it was super cold, and it was like, oh my gosh, the phones. Like I was on the phones. We pulled in a few other managers to bring in people on the phones because it was too much to even handle, right? So we had to bring in extra technicians and everything like that. So. We have contingency planning, right, when it gets to be extreme, because we have to make sure we're getting to all of the customers and taking care of them.
And then do they get a nice Christmas bonus? Your guys that are working, turkey dinner. Guys, here you go.
We try to take care of everyone to the best of our abilities, yes.
We got the Christmas pizza coming in.
So we actually have, this Friday, we actually are shutting down a little bit early, so we're going to shut down at 1 o'clock. And we have everyone going to be in the shop, and we're going to play some games and have a little barbecue and kind of thanks for the hard work of the summer and try and give back a little bit. So
take some
videos and put them on the website.
Oh. We should do that. Yeah, it's a good idea.
If you haven't been to capitalhvac.com, you need to go there and just click through the videos. There's some fun stuff on there. The Capital Cares is on there as well, so you can look at the club and see if that's something you want to join, and I suggest you do. But always good to have you on the show.
Good to see you guys.
Great to see you, Jason. Thanks.
Thanks, Jason. Coming up, hour number 2 with Marty from National Fire Sprinkler Association. It is the Fix-It Show.
This has been the Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Deliciousness from scratch. That's the packing house.
Well, if you're going to run a genuine supper club in this town, you better have one big old staple, and that is prime rib. 12-ounce queen or 16-ounce king, no matter which one you choose, any way you slice it, it's a big hunk of USDA-certified Black Angus prime rib, and it is juicy as all get up, and it is amazing. Like butter, some would say, and they have. You won't make a mistake with this, baby. It's been on the menu since day one, and there are a number of cult-like followers out there that would have my head if I ever took it off. And don't worry, folks. The best prime rib in town is here to stay. This is Chris Wyken, inviting you to enjoy deliciousness from scratch at the Packing House, a Heritage Milwaukee Supper Club destination across from the airport on Layton.
That's the Packing House. Deliciousness from scratch. That's the Packing House.
Served Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday.
When you need emergency service 24/7, any time of the day, any day of the year, call Quality Heating. With one of Wisconsin's largest HVAC fleets, you can count on us being there in a hurry. So don't worry. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. When you're in a heating or air conditioning jam, just see the man in the red van, and he's going to have a master plan to make sure you stay comfortable.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
We will only sell products we believe in, and we believe in Armstrong Air Furnaces. With variable speed blower and multi-stage performance, Armstrong Air's most advanced furnaces deliver the highest number of features, the most comfort, and the greatest efficiency. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. To me, Armstrong Air is the professional's choice. So see the man in the red van, and we'll get you a furnace you can rely on for the long haul.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Your hometown hub for everything that matters. The latest news, traffic, weather, and sports on Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 8 o'clock, it's 61 degrees, pretty clear today. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jack Grau. A potential government shutdown impact may just come to more than federal workers.
Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin Director of Advocacy and Outreach, Satira Lord, tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News the shutdown would impact people enrolled in programs that need federal funding.
Those participating in WIC, which is Women, Infant, and Children, they are going to be impacted.
Beyond WIC, Head Start could also see its grant funds dry up if the shutdown gets long.
You have women, infant, and children who will be impacted not only through their food, but also potentially their childcare. And there might be having to be some tough choices depending on how long that this goes.
Lord says they're hoping to help people like this through donations. Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
It's been a big sports week in Milwaukee, and this weekend the competition moves from the Diamond to the Monitor.
Cream City Convergence is an esports tournament hosted by Milwaukee Bucks esports division, Bucks Gaming. Tournament organizer Josh Barnacle explains what esports are.
The simple terminology for it is electronic sports, but it kind of encompasses a lot of different competitive video games in general.
He also explains the event will have
the typical casual area for people that just want to get games in and practice. We'll have the pool area where all of the actual in-bracket systems will be happening.
Doors open Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee. Charlie Snell, WTMJ News.
One of Milwaukee's most iconic restaurants is now reopened following a terrifying night Wednesday where two people were shot inside Elsa's on the Park. Longtime server Steve Brielmeyer tells TMJ4 News.
I was waiting for my drinks. I heard pop, pop, pop. Glasses flying everywhere. I hit the dirt. I touched my head. The blood was coming out of my head. And then I just crawled away. And by then it was over.
Milwaukee police say the shooter or shooters were targeting someone leaving the restaurant, and it wasn't at random. Editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, Mark Cass, tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News why this incident is a black eye for perception of Milwaukee.
It's really unfair to Elsa's, because now there's going to be a lot of people who are afraid to go to Elsa's, which is crazy. And there's also going to be a lot of people who live in Heartland, who live in Oconomowoc and Brookfield, and say, I can't come downtown anymore. It's scary down there. I could get shot. And it's just not true.
Still, Cass says the main problem businesses have with downtown is still the idea of crime. Could a development be in the future for parking lots at American Family Field? Brewers president of business operations, Rick Schlesinger, tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News he is open to ideas.
Any opportunities to generate revenue, to put back in the payroll, to get players for the ballpark, I want to do. And if real estate development can do that, I'm all in.
However, Schlesinger says there are no concrete plans, pun intended, and a massive amount of hurdles. The biggest is not owning the land that would be developed. It's owned by the state of Wisconsin. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:03.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
This is Tom Feza. When I have a roofing question, I contact Scott Klein, owner of J&B Construction, provider of high-quality exterior home improvement products and services since 1958.
Thanks, Tom. Between the two of us, we've seen hundreds of failed roofs, along with the unfortunate consequences of water damage. Poor workmanship, improper product usage, lack of ventilation, inferior flashing detail, and loss of control due to subcontractors are some of the most common reasons for roofs failing. At J&B, our objective is not just to sell another roof. We want to educate our clients. When J&B's experienced sales staff achieves that goal, our roof systems sell themselves.
For a complimentary roof evaluation, call Scott at 262-437-0537 or visit jnbconstruction.com.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek telling you about the ultimate hangout for hounds and humans. It's the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. It's a state-of-the-art facility providing doggy daycare, boarding, and professional grooming services all on site. Hang out with your dog or without and enjoy time at their indoor-outdoor tavern connected to the dog park. Fun, happy, clean, and safe. They even have trained handlers on site at all times. Visit thehoundsandtap.com for more details. That's thehoundsandtap.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Merck here. When it comes to memory care and assisted living, you want a team that knows compassion and empathy. That's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. I know, my grandma was in assisted living. I have an aunt, one of my favorite aunts, right now in memory care. At Azura, they specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They provide additional daily living assistance for those with cognitive decline. 14 locations in Wisconsin, AzuraLiving.com, Wisconsin-based, family-owned. The teams I trust are at Azura. AzuraLiving.com.
WTMJ Sports Update. The Brewers took their time last night, defeating the Cubs in an extra inning, 4-3. The second game of the series is this evening at home, starting at 6:10. Tune into WTMJ for all your Brewers coverage. It looks like the Marlins will be coming to Milwaukee for the Wild Card Series next week, but it won't be concrete until the end of the weekend. No Packers football this Sunday. Next game is Monday, October 9th in Las Vegas. Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. Nothing major across the Milwaukee traffic system this morning. Still, that disabled vehicle by Caledonia on 4194 South. So if you're going south near Caledonia, maybe add a few minutes onto your commute there. Other than that, no major slowdowns, no major breakdowns in the Milwaukee traffic system this morning. Wherever you're going should be a pretty simple drive to get there. WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today a high of 77, mostly sunny, and then on Sunday a high of 79, and the temperatures keep picking up from there. A high of 81 on Monday. On Tuesday a high of 81 and partly cloudy, 84 on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, watch out for some thunderstorms and a sharp drop in temperatures after that. Right now in Madison, you're experiencing temperatures of 62 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 61. Over in Waukesha, it's 59 degrees. Right here in Milwaukee, it's a nice 62 degrees. Breaking news, stories you care about, full show podcasts, and more. The place to go when you need to know, WTMJ.com and the WTMJ mobile app. I'm Jack Grau, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:06.
This is The Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC. There's no such thing as no maintenance when it comes to your home. That's why we bring you The Fix-It Show from 7 to 9 every Saturday. Get your questions ready for our expert home inspector, David Nason from Best Inspections. Here he is with his co-host, Dayton Kane. It's The Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Hour number 2, sponsored by Siding Unlimited and J&B Construction. And we have a new guest in the studio.
We definitely do. Marty's been here before.
Yes, I know, but I'm saying it's not Jason this hour. We have Marty from National Fire Sprinkler Association, NFSA, the voice of the fire sprinkler industry. It says that on their website. I like that. How are you, Marty?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. You're looking good. You got your NFSA stuff on, your swag ready to go. Right. And the reason you're coming on is because Fire Prevention Week is coming up next week.
Yes, it's October 8th through the 14th. It's always the week of October 9th when the Great Chicago Fire and the Great Peshtigo Fires were.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, you bring that up, that the Peshtigo Fire was bigger. Or more lives lost, I think?
Right. It was more area and more lives lost. Just not as, wasn't a big metro area.
Right, than Chicago.
And there wasn't as much buildings lost.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to be talking about, you can answer questions if people have them about fire safety and sprinklers and all that stuff. But we want to kind of focus on some prevention steps that we can take leading up to this week and just in general.
Right. Yeah, I always talk about the fact that there are 4 levels of prevention that you can do within your home. And the biggest thing is that it is fire prevention, making sure that you don't leave candles, cooking unattended, that you put cigarettes out or smoking materials out in the proper material. If you've got if you're cooking outside with charcoal, when I was a firefighter, one of the big things was people would dump out the charcoal, thinking it was out the next day, but it wasn't, in the garbage can, and they'd have a fire either in their garage or next to their garage or house. So it's mainly making sure that you put that first level, which is prevention, and we always use education as that, making sure that people understand that they're the ones that prevent the fires. The U.S. Fire Administration has a phrase. It's called "Fire is everybody's fight," and what they want is they want everybody to sit there and say it's your job first, and then of course, when that fails, the fire department comes and helps you out to put out the fire. The next level is basically what's required by law: carbon monoxide detectors and smoke alarms. Smoke alarms on every level of the house. So, if you have a basement, first floor, second floor, and they should be located inside the bedroom and outside the bedroom. And the reason being is if you're sleeping at night with your door closed and you have a fire in your room, that smoke alarm outside is not going to wake you up. The other one is that close your door. Close while you doze is a new concept. And what it is it's telling you that door alone will save you. Studies have shown that while the room next door is ablaze, and we're talking about 400 at the floor, 1,200 degrees at the top, it's only like 100 degrees inside your bedroom. So I mean, you're looking at that time to get you out, and time is the big thing, because time buys life. That gives you time to get out, time to make sure that you can call 911. Those are the things that you want to do first. And so close while you doze is a big thing, especially when you have kids, younger kids, or within your home. And you close off that home so the fire doesn't spread.
Right. So that's interesting that you say that, because I know you're supposed to have a fire-rated door between your garage and your attached garage and your house.
Garage,
If that's true, why wouldn't those doors be throughout the entire house?
Well, I mean,
is that just overkill? You don't need it?
Yeah, well, I mean, that would be best. Solid core doors are better than hollow core doors.
Right.
But the hollow core doors will actually stay for a while. I mean, even the door between your garage and stuff, they say it's a 1 hour rated or a half hour rated.
Well, it's minimum 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yes.
20 minute is the minimum requirement in residential.
Right. So what it does is it keeps that fire away from you. The doors inside your house do the same thing. By closing off, you don't get that heat spread. And that's the biggest thing. When people don't see, the fire can be a small fire in the corner, but what ends up happening if you watch the fire grows is you get all those gases and stuff up top. And when it gets to its ignition temperature, it will what's called flashover.
Okay.
And so what it does is it gets that ball of flame, and that heats up the whole room, and then everything starts on fire.
Mm-hmm.
If you close that down in areas, number one, oxygen is one of the three things it needs. And so if it doesn't get the oxygen because it's closed off and that smoke builds up, it may actually, snuff out the fire. So if you close down your areas, it's actually best. Now, some people will say, well, it's not good for heating in the wintertime or cooling in the summertime. But again, we're talking about, just at night when you're sleeping.
Right.
So that's the big thing, is close it all down. I mean, if you're gone during the day, closing it all down might be a good thing to keep your pets in one area rather than the other area. But again, the big thing is that keep it closed down. It'll give you that time, and even a couple of minutes, because flashover now occurs because of the products in our house, not the house construction, but the products in our house. Flashover starts in less than 3 minutes. Okay, so you've got less than 3 minutes to get out of your house. Most fire departments, I worked for the West Dallas Fire Department. We had a full-time staff that was on. Our response time average was about 3.5 to 4 minutes. Okay, but it takes 3 minutes before that, somebody to call 911, the call to get processed, the call to go to the fire department, us to stop what we're doing, go and get dressed, and then respond. And then it was, 3 to 4 minutes then.
Right.
So you're looking at a 7-minute response. Flashovers in 3 minutes. So the fire department's not going to be there. So that's why the importance, that's why we talk about fire sprinklers, which is the fourth level, is we talk about the fact that, that gives you time, and time buys life. And so that's the most important thing is that time. So if you don't have fire sprinklers, or you say, oh, gee, it's too cost prohibitive to put it in my house right now. Big thing is that we go back to the prevention and smoke alarms, because that gives you the warning to get out.
Mm-hmm. We do need to take a break. Marty's with us all hours, so if you have questions for him, 855-616-1620 is the number. It's the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
What time is it?
Do you have the time?
What time is it? What time is it? 10. It's Lillard. He got the shot off.
Damian Lillard is officially a Milwaukee Buck, and we can get used to this.
Lillard, long-range three, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard! Are you kidding me?
Listen to it all right here. We are the home of the Milwaukee Bucks, WTMJ.
Hey, Eric Bilstead with WTMJ. Do you know the type of roofing company that I trust? One that would gladly tell me that I don't really need to replace my roof. I just need a roof tune-up. Tri-County Contracting does that. Tri-County Contracting offers roof tune-ups that include roof inspection, refastening, replacing some missing shingles. Is it affordable? Yes. Trust Tri-County Contracting's roof tune-up. Trust 45 years in Wisconsin. Visit TriCountyContractingWI.com.
When it comes to sharpening your investment and retirement strategy, the Annex Wealth Management Navigating the Markets presentation is a must. You're invited to join our senior leaders at one of our upcoming events. What are the headwinds for portfolios in excess of $1 million? Will the long-awaited recession actually happen? How does today's economy fit from a historical perspective? And most importantly, what can you do to calibrate your portfolio? Navigating the Markets is fast-paced, interactive, and packed with perspective from the Annex Investment Committee of experienced professionals, including PhDs, CFAs, and CFPs, with the knowledge and skill to help with what's next. Navigating the Markets takes place in Madison, October 3rd, Brookfield, October 5th, and Appleton, October 10th. These premier events are complimentary and open to everyone. Complete details and sign up at annexwealth.com/events. Reserve your spot soon. Seats are limited. The American economy is at a critical juncture. For a look at what's next, join us for Navigating the Markets from Annex Wealth Management. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. It starts at annexwealth.com.
Don't you just love the WTMJ Fix It Show? Hi, this is Matt Elliott from Elliott's Ace Hardware. When you think Fix It, first you think about Saturday mornings on WTMJ. Then you gotta be thinking Elliott's Ace Hardware. Where else can you find such great staff, big brands, and all the stuff, and I'm talking all the stuff, to get your Fix It done? So enjoy the WTMJ Fix It Show on Saturday morning, and then head to Elliott's Ace in Elm Grove, West Dallas, Pewaukee, and Muskego.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Bring friends and watch your favorite team compete on big screens. Grab game day eats in T. McSee's Sports Bar or celebrate your team's victory in Horizon's Steakhouse. To book your game time at the Island Resort and Casino, call 800-682-6040 today.
With Rhino Shield ceramic coating, never paint your house again. Rhino Shield will keep 100% of the rain and 90% of the heat from penetrating your house. And it looks just like paint, but will last 5 times longer, and it's guaranteed for 25 years. Rhino Shield comes in any color. Get started today at rhinoshieldwis.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Get her done. It's the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Dayton Kane and David Nason here. Marty from the National Fire Sprinkler Association on with us as well, getting us revved up for Fire Prevention Week coming up October 8th through the 14th. And you can get your calls and texts in at 855-616-1620. Off your conversation earlier, somebody texted in, can you please also review best practices regarding carbon monoxide detectors? In particular, where should plugs be placed?
Plugins
be placed. Like, what's the best location?
Yeah, again, the state law and what's recommended by the NFPA, which is the National Fire Protection Association, is that if you have gas appliances in your home, so whether you have just one stove or whatever, it's every floor. So it's every floor, much like a smoke alarm. That's why they make combination carbon monoxide detector and smoke alarms. You can put them in the same place. And there's no real difference between plug-in and the battery-operated ones. So the big thing is that it's generally one on every floor. It should be, I think, if I remember the rules off my fact, it should be no closer than like 15 feet, no farther away than 75 feet from the appliance.
Okay.
So,
yeah. And I get the question all the time, well, should it be down low on the wall or can it be high on the ceiling? Because the combination units are usually on the ceiling in the hallways. And my thought, I probably should have asked Jason this, or I could ask you. My thought is, well, in a home that has a forced air system, that's pushing the air around the house. If you have carbon monoxide, it's going to detect it.
Yeah, if I remember the specific gravity of carbon monoxide, it's close to 1, which is neutral. And so the big thing is it doesn't matter if it's low or high.
Yeah.
It will go off.
Yeah.
Though sometimes people will say, well, I have one in my home, and the one on the second floor at the top of the stairway goes off before the one on the first floor. Okay, well, again, if it's a forced air problem with your furnace, it's just blowing the air around, and it just hit that one first.
And your stair is basically a chimney, for air. Warm air rises, so it warms, air is just naturally flowing up that stairwell.
Right, and generally they go off about 35 parts per million. I mean, that's you may not notice it, but if they're going off, you need to have you need to call the fire department, have them come in. They have more sensitive carbon monoxide detection tools, and they'll check to make sure that the place is safe.
Yeah, and figure out which appliance is causing it. Yeah.
Right, and we've had people call, We Energies first because they're their natural gas provider. While that's good, they don't respond as quickly. And again, you could have high levels. Now, the only difference with some of the plugins is they actually may have a readout that tells you how long. But if it's over 35, that's starting to be an unsafe level for more than 8 hours. And if it's over 100, you should be definitely out of the building because of the fact that it's unsafe for you at that point.
All right, nfsa.org is the website. You can check out information there as well. The Old National Bank talking text line, 855-616-1620. More with Marty King from the National Fire Sprinkler Association next. It's a Fix It Show on WTMJ.
During Fire Prevention Week, the National Fire Sprinkler Association would like to remind you that fire won't wait. Plan your escape. House fires can become deadly in as little as 2 minutes. A fire sprinkler system is the only thing that can stop a fire and smoke from spreading. In less time than it takes firefighters to arrive, fire sprinklers control the fire and allow everyone to escape. Fire won't wait. Plan your escape. Fire sprinklers buy time, and time buys life during Fire Prevention Week. For information, visit firesprinklersbuylife.com.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam, and Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary. Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
So if our mom was looking for a new sofa, what are the top things that you would recommend that she look for in a new sofa? Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Kid and pet friendly fabrics. Sure. Eliminate headaches. Yeah. Eliminate spill problems. Clean it up. That stuff is so good nowadays.
I would say quality foam. You need a quality foam in there in order to last and the comfort to maintain.
Maybe the exact same thing, just explaining it a little different, is sit down on that sofa and make sure it feels good.
Sure.
Pretty is great, but it's got to be comfortable.
Yes.
You're sitting in it and watching a 2-hour football game, you want to feel good.
Yep. And I would say a well-built frame, something that's structurally sound.
Yes.
And made in the USA. We make fantastic sofas in the United States. We always have and we always will. It's an easy way to sort poor quality from good quality.
Penny Mustard Furnishings. See more at pennymustard.com.
Did I mention quality foam?
I think you did.
Okay, good. I don't want to miss that.
That's an important one.
That's very important to me anyway. And it would be to Mom.
Advice you can use. It's the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Isaac, you're getting creative with the bumper music there. You didn't start the fire, but it is up to us to prevent the fire, right?
Yeah,
That's what we're talking about today.
Yep.
Marty King, National Fire Sprinkler Association, with us this hour. We did get a text here at 855-616-1620. It says, "Hi, I've heard that there should be 2 exits planned for each room." Is that a factual statement? Just the way I just said it. 2 exits planned for each room.
And actually, it's not each room. It's where people are
sleeping rooms are required to have 2 exits.
Right. So that would be the door that goes in and out of the room, and that would be a window going out. And
that's big enough for an adult to get out.
20 by 24 opening in doesn't matter which direction those dimensions are, but 20 by 24.
Right. And the big thing when you have bedrooms and stuff like that, especially in older homes, check to make sure that those windows open. That somebody can get them open, because of the fact that's a big thing. And remember, if you've closed the door and you open the window and you're waiting for the fire department to come, or a neighbor, I don't know how many times I've been at fire scenes where the neighbor heard about it, grabbed a ladder, came over and were helping the people out, at that time. So, open the window, scream for help, if it's on the 2nd or 3rd floor, and make sure that you can get out. So.
Yeah, kind of a last resort jump.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is that a 2nd floor, a window can act as an egress, because more than likely you will survive a jump from a 2nd floor window. Right. If you have a 3rd floor in your house, a window does not qualify as a 2nd. In Wisconsin, you have to have a stair that goes down to at least a 2nd floor, if not all the way to the ground. So, but we're getting into the weeds of that.
Somebody mentioned a broken ankle law. Have you heard that?
I haven't heard of that, but
if it's more than 12 feet high and you can jump out.
But these rules are for 1st and 2nd floors.
Right.
Yeah. And I only mentioned 3rd floor because where I was from in West Allis, what we had was a lot of illegal build-outs.
Yeah.
The 3rd floor was big enough with an attic space that they would build something out, a sleeping room and stuff like that, which, yes, it needs to have its own exit stairway out of it.
Right.
And the second one, besides, so there's 2 ways out. So there's an exit stairway and an exit stairway.
Yeah.
And then the other one is that we get build-outs in basements. And again, those windows are not big enough. They would have to increase them to the egress size. Of course, they need to pull the proper permits to make sure that it is legal and everything being done down there, so they don't have a problem.
Right. Yeah. If you want to, there was a second part of the question I was going to answer on the text, but go to NARI, Milwaukee NARI. MilwaukeeNary.org is the website. Find a contractor there that can help you out with it. It's not cheap.
Put in an egress window.
Yeah, there's a lot involved. Not excavating outside, cutting the foundation, putting a window in. That window can't be more than 44 inches off the floor in the basement. So there's a bunch of work involved.
With the size of Americans today, do you think 20 by 24 is big enough, or is that rule going to go up?
That would be difficult to change, I think.
Enforce?
Yeah,
change.
Just because now you're talking about how big? 3 foot wide window, 4 foot wide window.
Yeah.
But prevention, that's the number one key, right?
Prevention is the key.
Right, and hiring a professional that does it correctly, that follows the codes that are out there. Because the codes are out there. A lot of people say, well, it costs extra. Yeah, well, the codes are out there for a reason.
Yeah.
Generally, the codes are just not, well, today let's make this rule up.
Yeah.
It's because something happened, and what we have to do is make sure that we prevent it from happening in the future.
You can literally, if you look at any of our building codes, electrical codes primarily, they're basically almost everything in our building code has something to do with life safety. That's why they're there. They're there to save your life. That's a reason for them. We don't want our buildings to fall down. We don't want people to get electrocuted. We don't want people to die.
Don't want people to fall off a stairway and hurt themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So 855-616-1620, the Old National Bank talk and text line. We do have Marty here for the full hour, so get your calls and texts in for him. So in the 8th through the 14th, are there events that people can go to?
Yeah, a lot of fire departments run an open house, or they do special events that you can go to. I know Allenton Fire Department, which is on the 15th, they have their annual open house and pancake breakfast. And they do it to help raise money for their volunteer fire department. City of Sun Prairie, which is up near Madison, does the same thing the same day.
Okay.
So generally we get some calls asking us for some demo trailers or some information that comes out. But yes, almost every community does something. A lot of times you'll see on the news that they're going to the different schools and they're doing fire prevention programs to the schools, hoping that they will bring it home to the parents.
All right. We have another half hour to go. Get your calls and texts in. Right now we go over to the WTMJ Breaking News Center with Jack Grau. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me, guys. City of Milwaukee residents may rake their leaves into the curb lanes tomorrow until November 15th, 2023. The City of Milwaukee Department of Public Works will begin collecting the leaves on October 16th. The Department of Public Works says to keep the piles away from sewer grates, storm drains, and low-hanging trees. Include yard debris such as flower, guard trimmings, and weeds on top of the leaf piles, but avoid grass clippings, pumpkins, litter, or other bagged material. Milwaukee police are investigating a fatal shooting that occurred last night near the intersection of Locust Street and Humboldt Boulevard. The shooting occurred at 10:40 p.m. The 40-year-old victim was pronounced deceased at the scene. The investigation is ongoing. A spokesperson for the Evers administration told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that the governor's office is developing a strategy to navigate the impending government shutdown. While federal employees would likely be furloughed, programs like SNAP benefits or Medicaid would unlikely be affected. Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. Nothing major across the Milwaukee traffic system this morning. Still, that disabled vehicle near Caledonia on 94 South, so maybe add a couple minutes to your commute if you would like to. But nothing major across the Milwaukee traffic system this morning.
Traffic is sponsored by Angela Calais and Benefit Realty.
At Benefit Realty, pay only 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission and get all the service that you should. Benefit Realty, you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, high of 77, mostly sunny, and then tomorrow, a high of 79. And the temperatures keep picking up from there on Monday, a high of 81 degrees, sunny, and Tuesday, partly cloudy with a high of 81 and a high of 84 on Wednesday. Then once we hit Thursday, thunderstorms are likely and a sharp drop in temperatures after that. I'm Jack Grau, signing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 8:32.
Radio guy emeritus Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Enjoy summer while it lasts, folks, because you know it's coming down the pike. Cold weather and high heating bills. It's not too soon to start thinking about new windows and doors from Hometown. They have options that fit every home, every style, and every budget, even yours. Their huge New Berlin showroom has the area's largest display of replacement windows, doors, and patio doors from national brands like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softline, and more. In wood, Fibrix, fiberglass, and vinyl, with scads of features including, wonder of wonders, blinds inside the glass. What's more, Hometown offers you dedicated project consultants with products installed by Hometown's own employee carpenters. Stop in today or call 414-329-1200 or go to hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Seth, the next ad should be about furnace beyondifications.
No, it's got to be same-day repair 7 days a week.
A beyondification extends the life of your furnace.
Yes, of course.
And increases efficiency.
Which saves you money on energy bills. I get it.
I don't think you do.
But same-day repair helps people now whose systems are breaking down.
Beyondifications save people from having a breakdown in the first place. What you gonna tell me? Oh, sorry, Merle.
You're right.
We shouldn't be arguing. I was saying people should get a furnace beyondification. Right, saves you money.
I thought same-day repair 7 days a week was better. Saves you time and frustration.
You're exactly right, Merle. You're a genius.
You're a great squirrel.
Get same-day repair or a furnace beyondification today.
Save money.
Save time and frustration.
Online at callcapitalcares.com.
Dayton and David. It's the Fix-It Show on WTMJ.
Indeed it is. Thank you for joining us. Mostly sunny, a high of 80 today. Going to be gorgeous outside again. And we do have Marty King from National Fire Sprinkler Association on with us this hour, getting us set up for October 8th through the 14th when we have Fire Prevention Week coming up.
Right. So we had somebody text in. It says, how many people put sprinkler systems in their homes? How do they activate? And then we were talking off the air, I did an inspection in a condo this week. The living areas, bedrooms, living room, they actually had concealed sprinkler heads in the rooms and in closets and other things. They were exposed. The question came up, how do those work too? So kind of a couple questions here.
Yeah, so fire sprinklers work. A lot of people watch the TV shows, Hollywood, and it shows everything going off, and it's
Right.
it's just a deluge of water. That only happens in one type of sprinkler system, and that system is only in high hazard commercial occupancies, and there aren't many of them around. So what you see is they're heat activated, and so a residential fire sprinkler goes off at 155 degrees generally. When you have a concealed head, when you have that plate over it, that plate actually activates at about 135 degrees. It drops off, and then what happens is that heat rises, and then that head goes off. Sprinklers go off, when we've done demos, the smoke alarm goes off at about 15, 20 seconds. The sprinkler goes off at about 30 to 40 seconds.
Okay.
So you're not talking about much delay from it, but it has to get up to 155 degrees for that to activate. It's only the areas where it's 155 degrees. So I'm sitting in this studio, and there are at least two heads, three heads, four heads.
Three concealed heads.
Three concealed heads.
There's one over there too.
Yeah,
so four.
So only one may go off depending on where the fire
Where
is.
the heat is.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, it's that specific.
Yeah,
even
so,
just to a corner of the room.
Right. Yeah. If we were in a corner of the room, most likely one would go off. Maybe a second one might go off. But the minute that sprinkler goes off, it brings a shower of water, which cools down the room. And again, we've done studies with full houses down in Spartanville, North Carolina, where we've done this and showed that the room temperature went from, it would be about 200 degrees up there, and it dropped down to the normal about 70, 80 degrees right away. So it doesn't take much for that cooling effect.
Yeah.
Now, as far as people putting fire sprinklers in their homes, there's a couple things that happen. Number one is it has to be generally required because, again, there is a cost factor to it. It's about 3% the cost of the home. So it adds that 3% onto it. So if you got a $300,000 home, you're going to see about a $9,000 increase. Now, a little bit more if you're out in rural where you don't have municipal water. So the big thing is that not many people are putting it in, but people are asking for it because they grew up in a condo or an apartment or something like that had these in them, or went to college and the dorms had or the apartments had them in. So they're starting to ask for them and asking for the cost comparison and looking at it because it does not only protect lives, it protects property.
Right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's easier. A lot of people say, well, there's all that water. Well, when I come in with my fire hose, I'm putting out anywhere from 125 gallons to 250 gallons a minute. The average sprinkler that you put in your home puts out 7 gallons a minute. So I mean, it doesn't take much you're not going to have a lot of water.
And the fires put out a lot sooner.
Right.
So that you don't have that damage on top of it.
Right. You don't have everything in the room that's consumed or damaged by the heat and stuff like that. And you got out. Again, it's real easy to dry out wet. It's hard to burn. And that's why we have the good.
Very true.
Yeah. Well, and the good one is that we've got restoration companies. I mean, they show up right away.
Sure.
They come in, they bring in their high-powered
dehumidifiers
and fans, and a lot of that stuff is dried out the next day with hardly any damage to woodwork and stuff like that.
You can clean up smoke, smell, and the paint and clean all that. But you can't burn. That's that's a good one.
Right.
Yes.
All right. 855-616-1620, the Old National Bank talking text line. We have a weird smoke detector that is relatively close to a ceiling fan and has alarmed on 2 occasions. In doing some research on the line, we thought it might have been due to dust. Would it be okay to switch this detector to a heat detector?
No. The state law says that you have to have smoke alarms. And that's a big thing. People say, well, I want to change this. There's 2 things. First of all, move it away from the fan. Yeah. It doesn't matter where it is in the room. It just needs to be in the room. The second one is it's probably due to dust. Sometimes you get spiders and stuff that like to live in them. So that's why they say, you should check them every week. But the big thing is it's every year change the batteries at that time, clean them out, make sure that they're clean. You can also move them to a wall. The big thing on a wall tends to be a little less sensitive because of the fact that, the smoke goes up, so it fills the ceiling first, and then it gets to the wall. But you have to keep it away from the corners. So it can't be any closer than 4 inches to the ceiling and no further down the wall than 12 inches. But we have a lot of people that live in smaller homes or live in apartments, and they say, gee, we got a problem because the smoke alarm goes off every time I'll say husband, cooks or, makes toast. Well, by moving that smoke alarm, and I can't move it anyplace, or it's right outside my bathroom because it's the best area, and if we take a hot shower, it goes off. Just move it to the wall. Again, nobody likes reading instructions, but read the instructions. It'll remind you where it goes at 4 to 12 inches down from the wall. Yeah. As far as, and what we need to get away from that space, as far as when you put it on the ceiling, you've got 4 inches away from the corner, from the wall, but you have the whole ceiling area to put it in. So just relocate it and you'll be fine.
All right. I know we were foster parents, so we have them all over our house. You have to have them in every room, every hallway, every level. Yeah. Like, I think we've got 12 smoke detectors in our house.
And then you have to test them regularly.
Yes, correct.
Make sure they're working.
Yeah. And the big thing, too, is look to see the date on the smoke alarm. Every smoke alarm has a birth date, but it also has a day that it needs to be replaced. Now, studies show that even though, hey, it looks like it's working fine and stuff like that, it's about 10 years. 10 years it needs to be replaced. And that's why, you can go out and buy lithium-powered smoke alarms that last 10 years. But what happens is that 10 years, it may last a little bit less, a little bit more, but that's when it needs to be replaced. And so that's a good time to replace those. And that includes even the electronic ones you've got. Yeah. I moved into a condo 6 years ago, and I'm looking at, in a few years, I'm going to have to buy, I think it's 6 smoke alarms for my house. So,
all right, but it's better to be safe than not.
Right, right. Yes, it does. It will wake you up. It will, it will warn you, and it'll give you the time to get out.
Marty's with us for a little while yet. Get your calls in, 855-616-1620, the Old National Bank talk and text line. It is the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Champagne's not as cheap as ginger ale, and you can't buy caviar for the same price as candy. But right now, you can buy high-end Beautyrest and Sealy Posturepedic mattresses for nowhere near high-end prices. Hasseless Mattress is clearing out a handful of premium floor models. These mattresses are the best, and you can get them for way less. Like the Sealy Posturepedic Glendale Falls Queen was on sale for $955, now just $362. Or the Beautyrest Windsor Isle King was on sale for $2,077, but the floor model is just $623. Plus, save big on a Beautyrest Advanced Motion Adjustable Base. Was $999, now just $377. It's like buying a Rolls Royce for $10,000 just because it sat on the showroom floor. Selection is limited. Only a few floor models are available at each Hasseless location, and when they're gone for good. Find a self-service, employee-free showroom near you at Hasseless.com.
Russ bought his first home in Wisconsin with a mortgage from AccuNet when today's college freshmen were still in diapers. A few Friday mornings ago, Russ emailed saying he and his wife were ready to buy their forever home. And by 4 o'clock, we were all on a conference call with their real estate agent talking about what it would take to write a winning offer in today's inventory-starved market. And then it happened. They met their dream home face-to-face Saturday afternoon and wrote an offer $15,000 over asking, accompanied by an AccuNet property-specific pre-approval letter that guaranteed they could make good on that offer without selling their existing home first and without requiring an appraisal. That's right, no appraisal required, which both the listing agent and seller loved. I can't promise your very first offer will be accepted like Russ and Julie's, but I will promise AccuNet can help you and your agent craft the most attractive offer possible. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Get started with your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at accunet.com.
As daylight hours decrease, crashes involving people driving and people biking or walking increase. Turn your lights on, slow down, and look around to help reduce nighttime crashes. Let's make sure everyone, no matter how they travel, gets home safe. Learn more at wisconsinbikefed.org.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If it needs fixing, we can help. It's the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Good morning to you. Siding Unlimited and J&B Construction always sponsoring the show. We thank them. But this hour, we have Marty King from the National Fire Sprinkler Association on. We are getting ready for that National Fire Prevention Week coming up on the 8th through the 14th. So we're talking about that. You just said a statistic that just blew my mind. What is the percentage of homes that don't have working smoke detectors?
Yeah, it's 86% of homes don't have a working smoke alarm.
Oh my gosh.
So there are people that say, "Well, I got a smoke alarm." Well, but it's not. I didn't change the battery for 4 years. Oh, well, that doesn't mean the battery's better. It means maybe you didn't test it or it's not working anymore.
Right.
People take them down when they paint and forget to put it back up again. I don't know how many times we've gone to places, found smoke alarms, in an apartment building in a common area. But it's been taken down in the apartment. And that might have been the previous tenant. It might have been the paint company that came through. Also, even if you put the battery in it and you put the smoke alarm on the counter, I guess it's better than anything, but it really needs to be mounted on the wall. And it needs to be
I've said that in some of my
goes.
reports is smoke detectors present, however, they're not properly installed. Correct. Or, the thing's hanging open and there's no battery in it. It's like, you knew the inspectors, home inspectors coming today.
Yeah.
At least put a
Couldn't
battery
get a
in.
9-volt?
Yeah. So I see it so often.
Fire departments across Wisconsin do provide smoke alarms. Now, not every community does it, but they do provide smoke alarms to various areas within their community. I know West Allis would go out to low-income areas that are and had some funding through that. I know the Red Cross every once in a while gets a grant and provide smoke alarms for fire departments to pick up and install. And that's the big thing. Generally, we don't hand them out because we find out that they just don't get installed. So we actually go in and generally install them. So
that's good. Aside from smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, is it wise to have a natural gas detector in my house? Thanks, Nancy.
That one, I can't answer on that one.
People ask me about that. Are you testing for natural gas leaks? And that's beyond the scope of a home inspection. Is it a good idea? Sure. I've always felt personally that if I can't see every connection, I don't want to test and say, oh, yeah, your house is fine. And then there's places that I didn't see or couldn't test. That's why they put the rotten egg smell in the gas.
What's
It's
happening?
not the natural smell of gas. They actually put that in the gas so that if you smell it, then you should get out of the house, call the fire department, call We Energies, but probably the fire department first.
Right. Yeah.
Get them out there.
The fire department will always call We Energies to make sure. But what we'll do is we'll go in, see if it's in an explosive range. If it's not, we'll open the windows to air it out. We'll go in, we'll shut the gas off either to the appliance or to the building. And then We Energy comes in and makes sure everything's secure afterwards.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked a lot about smoke detectors. When we come back in the final segment, I want to talk about hot spots in the house that we can, as fire, we're talking fire prevention. Where can I go look? What can I look for that I can fix on my own before something happens? So we'll do that when we come back. Marty's here for one final break. The Fix It Show is on WTMJ.
There's no better green and gold insider than from the man who wore the green and gold himself, Bart Tauscher.
The thing you hear all through training camp, if you're an undrafted free agent or a late pick, is, hey, you're trying out for our team, but you're also putting film up there for the other 31.
Bart Tauscher is our green and gold insider every Wednesday at 4:15 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
I like his moxie. You know what? We're going to keep him on the 53.
Presented by your Wisconsin Chevy dealers.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, summer painting can be brutal. If you're tired of painting year after year, go Rhino. One homeowner said they had a contemporary stucco finish with fading paint that was starting to look like garbage. So they went with Rhino Shield after discovering it's better than paint. Thanks to Rhino Shield, they saw savings on their energy bills. And your home's exterior doesn't matter. Wood, brick, steel, and even vinyl. Right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 25% off if you call by the 25th. And it doesn't stop there. Rhino Shield remains backed by a 25-year warranty. Call 262-900-4055 or visit rhinoshieldwis.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Deliciousness from scratch. That's the packing house. Service you can't match. That's the packing house. From stuffed filet to ribs and fish, classic cocktails if you wish. All deliciousness from scratch. That's the packing house.
Deliciousness from scratch. That's the packing house. That's the packing house.
From stuffed filet to ribs and fish, have a classic cocktail if you wish. All deliciousness from scratch. That's the packing house. Deliciousness from scratch. That's the packing house.
Facebook, Instagram, stay in touch.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
When it comes to sharpening your investment and retirement strategy, the Annex Wealth Management Navigating the Markets presentation is a must. You're invited to join our senior leaders at one of our upcoming events. What are the headwinds for portfolios in excess of $1 million? Will the long-awaited recession actually happen? How does today's economy fit from a historical perspective? And most importantly, what can you do to calibrate your portfolio? Navigating the Markets is fast-paced, interactive, and packed with perspective from the Annex Investment Committee of experienced professionals, including PhDs, CFAs, and CFPs, with the knowledge and skill to help with what's next. Navigating the Markets takes place in Madison, October 3rd, Brookfield, October 5th, and Appleton, October 10th. These premier events are complimentary and open to everyone. Complete details and sign up at annexwealth.com/events. Reserve your spot soon. Seats are limited. The American economy is at a critical juncture. For a look at what's next, join us for Navigating the Markets from Annex Wealth Management. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. It starts at annexwealth.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Like a user's manual on the radio, it's the Fix It Show on WTMJ.
Dayton Kane, David Nason, and Marty King all hanging out with you. Marty from the National Fire Sprinkler Association. You can find them at mfsa.org if you want to look up some information on them. But let's talk about Fire Prevention Week coming up the 8th through the 14th of October. Where are some places in my house I should look that are common fire hazards?
Well, the theme this year revolves around cooking safety, and that's probably one of the more prevalent fires that happen in the home because people get used to, cooking. And so some of the things that you can do is, number one, is never leave your cooking unattended. Again, it could boil over. It could, some of the greases in it could cause a grease fire. The other one that you want to make sure that you stay away from is putting stuff next to the stove that could be combustible because of the fact that, keep that safe space away. The other one is be careful. I hate to say this, and I don't want to use a brand name, but when you use toaster glazed product, they actually can cause a fire.
Really?
Yeah. You have to read the package, and it says, don't leave on a low setting because people put a higher setting on it, and they don't understand that when it burns, the sugar in it starts on fire.
Sure.
So there's small stuff that people don't understand because they're used to doing it a certain way, and they just don't think about it. And that's the big thing is kind of think before you act. Same thing as we talked about candles being one of the ones. There should always be a foot space of non-combustible around the candle. Now, if it's in a jar, that's good. But if you read, a lot of the jars say throw it out when it liquefies. And that's because that starts to heat up that glass. It'll break the glass, and then it'll wick out, and it can cause a fire. If not that, it causes a lot of damage to your product. So, those are kind of things. Keeping ignition materials out of the hands of kids, those are a big one. And then, of course, smoking's the other one. So we want to make sure that we're safe there. And then we always want to make sure that we plan our escape. Where do we go when we go outside? And I know a lot of people say, well, we want to go across the street. Well, the reason I don't say go across the street to, like the neighbor's mailbox or something like that is because, number one, people driving by aren't looking at you walking across the street.
Yeah, they're looking at the fire.
They're looking at the fire.
And you might live on a busy street.
Right. And the fire trucks even, I understand that, but we're thinking people are going to stay out of the trucks when we're out of the road when the trucks are coming up. And so you might get somebody dash across because they're trying to go to that area. Try to find it, the next neighbor down, et
the
cetera.
block, yeah.
And when you're out of the house, that's when you call 911. Not, I got to find the phone. I got to call them real quick before I get out the house. The other thing when we talk about fire extinguishers was one of the levels before putting fire sprinklers in your home. Fire extinguishers know how to use it. It's a simple system of pull the pin, aim it, and then sweep.
At the base of the fire.
Right, at the base of the fire. But if it's anything bigger than a small trash can, something that you'd have in your bathroom, it's probably too big for you to fight the fire. Okay, I've seen the spray all over the place because people get excited and stuff like that. Or they go for another extinguisher. If one isn't going to do it, I tell you what, the second one's not going to do it.
Go grab your garden hose.
Right. And with cooking safety, we were kind of talking before about somebody that got burned because they had a stove fire with oil and they tried to take it outside. Don't ever use that. Cooking safety goes around, have a cover for the pot because you smother that. You can use baking soda, not baking powder, but baking soda because that's kind of one of the ingredients that they use in fire extinguishers.
Towels,
you can use a
and
fire
blankets.
Extinguisher. Yeah, towels probably less unless they're somewhat because it may start the fire.
Okay.
But don't try to run out because there's a good chance that you're going to either spread the fire or you're going to burn yourself with that oil. So again, look at that. There are other things that you can buy. There's something that goes underneath the hood that actually will drop a product down on it that will smother that. You can actually buy electric stoves that actually will heat up enough to boil water, but not enough to ignite paper, believe it or not. And you can buy kits to change it. Now, the kits to change it are kind of expensive, but we see more and more people going to those type of products with the electric. And we see the federal government's been doing it in military bases for over a decade. And they've actually had 0 fires started by those type of cooking appliances. So, do a little bit of homework before you buy a product, especially a new product. And then again, look at some of the fire safety tips out there. this week, I'd love you to go to nfsa.org, but better yet, it would be better to go to nfpa.org.
All right. Great to have you on the show. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for Marty.
Thank you.
I'll see you next month at the Milwaukee chapter meeting. You're going to do a presentation for us.
Awesome.
Looking forward to that.
And I'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Have a great week. Coming up next, the Fox World Travel Show on WTMJ.
This has been the Fix-It Show on WTMJ. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With shorter days in the forecast, brighten up now with top-quality lighting and ceiling fans at unbeatable prices. At our award-winning showroom, you'll see our new display of Visual Comfort brand lighting along with their newest LED lights and ceiling fans. We carry every major brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. BBC is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturdays from 10 to 4. We're located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
There I was outside doing some yard work when I noticed my neighbor looking over his windows. He's climbing up and down his ladder, and I hear him holler to his wife, "Honey, we're gonna need a few new windows." So I took a walk over and said, "Hi Ron, do you mind if I take a look?" He said, "Go right ahead." And I said, "You know, the window itself, which is the framework to the glass here, looks fine. And the sill, which is the bottom of the framework, that's fine too. It's the glass that needs replacing. The seal must be broke, and that lets in the moisture we're seeing. That's why your windows are fogging up." And he said, "So I don't need new windows?" And I said, "No, actually, if you want, I can have the glass replaced, and they'll basically be as good as new. And believe me, it'll cost you a lot less than replacing these." This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Keeping you informed, keeping you safe, keeping you engaged and entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock, it's 62 degrees in Milwaukee with some clouds in the sky. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jack Grau. A ballpark district at American Family Field? Not so fast. Brewers president of business operations Rick Schlesinger tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News there's a variety of factors that would have to get figured out long before any concrete plan would be considered.